in this ongoing series, we'll also try to understand what do you mean by this stop protection and termination protection of our EC2 instances, right? So this both the features that are available under your EC2 instances. It is acting like a safety logs. These are acting like a safety logs for your EC2 instances. If you choose this stop protection, if you enable this option, if you enable this feature, it will prevent the instances from being stopped. Let's say this is my EC2 instances, right? And a important service is running inside this EC2 instances in the background. If I stop this EC2 instances, it will go to stop state. It means it is going to shut down. If it is shut down, it means even this service and the background processes will also go into inactive state. But my requirement, I need to prevent this EC2 from being stopped so that I don't want these services to become inactive. In this case, I don't want my EC2 to come into stop the state. Even if I accidentally select the stop button, the EC2 should not go into stop the state. It should stop me. It should prevent me from getting my EC2 into stop the state. So in order to get this possible, right, I may enable this stop protection. If I enable this stop protection, even by accidentally, by intentionally or unintentionally, if I select the stop of my EC2 instance state, still the EC2 instances will be in the running. It won't go to the stopped state because this protection or the safety log preventing our instances from being stopped. That is one thing. And if you see this one more feature called termination protection, this termination protection, if you enable this feature for your EC2 instances, it is preventing the instances from being deleted. As you know, termination means we are deleting our EC2 instances. If you enable this feature of your EC2 instances, let's say accidentally I am trying to terminate. Okay, I'm selecting my instance state as terminate. Okay, it might be intentionally or unintentionally I selected terminate. So what should happen? It has to delete, right? My EC2 instances must be deleted. But I want to protect this situation. I want to prevent these instances from being deleted because sometimes I may intentionally or unintentionally by mistake, by accidentally, I selected this terminate. Now the EC2 instances will be deleted permanently. So in order to overcome such kind of accidental situations, if you enable this safety lock, which is termination protection, it will prevent the instances from being deleted, right? So in simple words, this stop protection, it can't turn off the server if you enable this option, and with the termination protection, you can't delete the server. So these are two things that you need to understand. Fine. Let's see this in practical, how to do this. So if you observe, so go to your EC2 dashboard. Under the instances, select your instances. Fine. Now click the actions. Under the actions, choose the instance settings. Under the instance settings, you can see stop protection. So select this stop protection. Right? Currently it is not enabled. So what is the purpose of this stop protection? So if you enable this stop protection, it will prevent your instances from being accidentally stopped. Fine. Now we're going to enable this stop protection to this respective server. So just enable this stop protection and save it. Just try to check it. So select your server, go to instance state and stop the server. And stop this respective server. See, if you are trying to stop, but we are unable to stop this server, so fail to stop the instances because the stop protection is enabled, which is stopping us to stop this server, right? Which is preventing us to stop this server. Fine, that is how the stop protection is helping us. Now, How to enable the termination protection? So go to actions, select your server first, go to actions, come to instance settings. There's something called termination protection. So open this termination protection and select this termination protection to this respect to server. So what in by termination protection? If you enable this termination or deletion protection, it will prevent your instances from being accidentally deleted, so that you can enable this termination protection for these instances. Fine. So just select this enable option and save this option. So successfully you are enabled this termination protection for your instances. Now just try to test this. So select your server, go to instance rate and try to terminate or delete. Terminate. No, it is failed to terminate, right? It is failed to terminate or delete the instances because the protection is enabled. So that is how you can secure or save your instances from being stopped or from being deleted. And when we need this, let's say if you're running a server for production purpose, in the production purpose where the customers are accessing your web application, in that case, we should not stop the server or we should not delete the server if it is in the production stage, right? So that if you do so, the server may come down, right? And the application is not available to the customers. So, or our data might be lost. So, in order to overcome that, to prevent such accidental stopping or deletion, it is best practices if you enable this stop protection and termination protection of your EC2 instances. I hope it is clear. Thank you.